What's up, everybody? This is Arthur from Wheels and Wilds. I took the DRZ out for the first time since I moved here to Missouri the other weekend, and I was thinking about how there are a few things about ADV riding in general that are just kind of annoying, and so I've come up with a list of 7 annoying things about ADV and dual sport riding. The first of which is how expensive everything is. It's ridiculous. There's jackets and pants out there. Jackets are $1,200, pants are like $600. It's crazy. Really seems to me that the prices of those items are artificially inflated because I don't think that the labor or the actual cost of the material is anywhere near that price. But I guess that's what happens when the sport is predominantly driven by a bunch of rich middle-aged guys who have a ton more money than I do. So can't wait till I get there. But it's insane. How is a set of soft luggage $1,100? It's crazy. It's too much money. I need everybody to start making cheaper stuff so that I can buy some nice things. The second most annoying thing about ADV riding in general is just how dangerous it is. It is an inherently dangerous hobby. We can spend thousands of dollars on safety equipment, and still, if I get into an accident, it's lights out for me. It only takes a second to get snuffed out. You know, a oncoming truck turns into my lane, and boom. No amount of helmets, jackets, airbags will ever help me in that scenario. Obviously, we take steps to mitigate it, you know, defensive riding, wearing the safety gear, things like that, but you can't ever eliminate it entirely, and I just think that sucks because it's just such a dangerous activity. Even if it's so much fun to, you know, ride anywhere, it's inherently incredibly dangerous. Even seemingly small falls or accidents can be very painful and very damaging. Some of the tamest accidents result in leg breaks. You know, you tip over your bike and your bike lands on you and snaps your leg. If you're not wearing a pair of boots, that happens all the time. You know, there's tons of YouTubers out there who have had broken legs. It's one of the most common injuries for sure. I've never been that hurt. The most hurt that I've ever been is I was trying to do a trick for the camera where I do a long skid and stop for the video to just look cool on the video, and I was going too fast and I skid, turned sideways and high-sided, ended up just smacking into the ground. Luckily I was wearing, you know, my helmet and gloves and such, but ended up smacking into the ground and separating my AC joint in my shoulder, and now I have a weird bump forever. So it just goes to show you that these small events can be life-changing. The third most annoying thing about ADV and dual sport riding is how the industry seems to think that bigger is better. I understand that that's probably where the money is, you know, dressing up these big touring bikes to be more off-road capable, but it's really a night and day difference between the lighter bikes and the bigger bikes. Seemingly, I mean, you do have guys like Paul Torres who freaking send his T7 just across the Grand Canyon doing crazy things that should be impossible. But I think for the layman, when they get these big bikes and they can't do those Paul Torres type things, even a fraction of that skill level, they get upset or they get, you know, hurt. I think that the push towards bigger bikes is inherently dangerous and just bad in general. That is probably where the money is. I mean, a bigger bike is like 20 grand, 20 grand, and a smaller bike is like 3 to 8 grand. So I suppose it would make a lot more money for the company to sell those bigger bikes. But still, it does seem like there is a shift from bigger bikes to smaller bikes. At least the last couple of months I've noticed, you know, the DRZ 400 is making, you know, it's back again and it's making a lot of waves, and so is the KTM 390. You got the new Himalayan. There's a whole new generation of these smaller, more capable off-road bikes in the ADV segment, which I think is good for the industry as a whole, but it is a sign of the times and kind of what of the consumer wants. It seems like they're moving away from these gigantic, you know, freaking cow-sized bikes and moving back to smaller, more dual sporty, more dirt bikey, off-road oriented ADV bikes. It seems like that's where the general consensus is as far as the focus of the industry, and I think that that's a really good thing. The fourth most annoying thing about ADV and dual sport riding, this one is a little bit more personal, a little bit more esoteric. I know that my fellow YouTubers out there will totally understand this one. It absolutely sucks so bad how I can do something badass. I can hit a perfect line, send my dual sport flying through the sky, and then I watched the clip back and I only got about 3 inches of air, and it just doesn't look very cool at all. Now, I've been told 3 inches is plenty, but in this instance, it's just annoying because I swear what I just did was amazing, and it's not at all. Same with water crossing, man. What is up with that? I freaking go through a freaking 3 foot deep water crossing, just raging river. Water's going everywhere, and I barely make it to the other side, and then I watch the clip back, and it looks like I just strolled through a puddle. It's insane. I realize that these action cameras that we all use flatten everything out and sort of disorient the perspective, but frick, man. I want the things that I do to look cool. The fifth most annoying thing about dual sport and ADV riding in general is just how tiring it actually can be, how taxing it is to throw your bike left and right and get up these tight trails. You're dripping sweat, it's freaking hot, it's just difficult in general. You're wearing all your gear, so everything's weighed down even more. If you have luggage, it's even heavier. And then you drop your bike, have to pick it up. First one's not a problem, second one, get it back up. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time, then it gets pretty freaking heavy, and my 300-pound DRZ 400 starts feeling like a goddamn BMW out there, and it's just stupid heavy trying to lift it by myself. That is so annoying, and it's just difficult to freaking pick it up all the time. I guess I'm lucky because my bike is pretty light, but still it does get very heavy, after so many times picking it up and dropping it, picking it up and dropping it. The sixth most annoying thing about dual sport ADV riding, this one is definitely more general to motorcycling. I'm sure everybody who rides can identify with it, can relate to it, but it's when you do the freaking 2 fingers down motorcycle wave and the other rider doesn't wave back. It's rude. We're both on 2 wheels. I'm just going somewhere cooler than you. Wave back, takes a second. I've been the guy too that hasn't waved back. I remember one time I got in a crash and I was riding back and people were waving at me and I was like, bro, I am in so much pain. So you don't know what they're going through, I guess, but come on, wave back. The seventh most annoying thing, this one is a little bit more poetic. It's annoying that the adventure can't last forever. There's nothing like having no plans and a whole world to explore, flying down the back roads, looking for somewhere to camp, figuring it all out by the seat of your pants, just to do it again the next day. Cooking on things on the fire, sleeping under the stars. It's awesome. It's a blast. Even if it's pretty scary sometimes, it's a good time. But I guess, all good things need to come to an end, and that is what makes us, crave the next adventure. So perhaps it's a double-edged sword. If the adventure never ended, I guess new adventures would never start. So, here's a bonus annoyance for you that I just thought of. Freaking side-by-sides ruining the trail. That is almost ubiquitous. It's like in every off-road park you got side-by-sides just tearing up the trail, and I bet it's a ton of fun to ride a side-by-side. You don't have to worry about flipping over. You can really just full send it up near vertical walls. It's awesome, sure. But you could definitely be less of an asshole about it and stop ruining the trails for everyone else. Because following a side-by-side, after the trail gets all rutted out with the rain and weathered, the trails are never the same. I guess it's the same with dirt bikes, though, because if you get a guy who's just throwing up roosts the whole way up a trail, that trail is going to get carved out too. So I guess it goes both ways. But frick side-by-sides. Thanks for watching, everybody. This was 7 things that are annoying about ADV and dual sport riding. Life update for you. I am here in Missouri now. I moved away from my home state of Washington, and I'm trying to find out where I can ride here. There's a couple of national forests, but there's not a lot of public land like there is in Washington state. So I'm trying to figure out the best places to go to do some recording, to make some content, to make some videos. There's a couple things coming up, like Adventurepalooza, I guess, is a big thing here in Missouri that I'm going to try to attend to and try to record. But hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll have some more videos for you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. get out there, enjoy the trails, and let me know how it goes. I'll see you guys. Peace.